Okay, let's be brutally honest. If you're struggling to attract people into your personal training business to become paying clients, then I understand where you're coming from. You're probably doing a lot of random stuff. How do I know? Because I was that personal trainer who used to do a lot of random things out there. Flyers one day, maybe paid ads another day, maybe a social media post another day. And it was really sort of hit and miss for me. It wasn't until I developed a proper system to be able to attract the right people into my business, have good conversations and convert them into paying clients, that I began to see my personal training business actually grow. And it grew to such an extent whereby my own personal diary became full enough so I could take on board other personal trainers, and eventually I decided to go online, and I used exactly the same system, a 12-step system that I'm going to share with you in this video that you can replicate in your business as well. So before we dive into this, I just want to make it clear, if you've arrived here thinking this is going to be a magic bullet solution and you can implement this in the next 24 hours, it doesn't work like that. You know, this idea that you can just suddenly magically do a couple of things and start attracting clients into your business, it's for the birds basically. This video is about putting in some real work, and the steps I'm going to go through with you, it might take you several weeks, maybe even a few months to actually finally get something in place that eventually will work effectively for you. So if you're prepared to put the work in, you're prepared to sort of do a bit of trial and error, then this video is definitely for you. So let's dive into what the 12 steps are that I'm going to be sharing with you. And steps number 6 and 12 are particularly important for you to understand. So step number 1 is understanding what your superpower is. Now, what the heck am I talking about? So I'm talking about, what do you find the easiest thing to do to raise your visibility so that people know that you are a personal trainer in your area? Are you good at speaking? Are you good at writing? Are you better at networking? What is it that you actually prefer to do? What do you find the easiest thing to do? For me, talking is the easiest thing for me to do. So giving presentations, doing videos like this, I find that pretty easy to do. So you've got to find out what your power is. Why is that important? Because once you've found your superpower, when you start putting information out there to raise your visibility, it will not feel like work. If you are trying to do something that you are not comfortable with or you don't find natural and easy, then you're going to give up on it. So that's step number 1, identify your superpower so we can build your marketing around that. Step number 1. Step number 2 is, who do you want to serve in the marketplace? Now, this question might take a little while for you to actually understand. When I started as a personal trainer, it took me probably a good 18 months to 2 years before I finally whittled it down to working with busy professional women over the age of 40, looking to lose typically over 20 to 30 pounds, and often a lot more than that as well. Now, that didn't come to me overnight. It wasn't a sudden aha moment. It actually came to me after working with several different types of clients. I was then able to sort of narrow it down to who I felt I served best. I did work with men as well, but the people that I wanted to serve long term were busy professional women, I say, over the age of 40, looking to lose 20 or 30 pounds more. So getting clear on that's going to help you with all the other steps I'll be talking through in this 12-step system. Step number 3 is creating your signature offer. So creating a solution for your ideal client. So in my case, it was busy professional women. I won't repeat that. You need to decide who it's going to be for you, but creating an offer that's going to solve what's known and referred to as sometimes as the bleeding neck problem, a problem that your ideal client wants solving like here and now. It's something that really does, you know, kind of keep them awake at night, something they wake up in the morning thinking about, something they think about during the day, something they think about last thing at night. So you need to be very clear that your offer can actually solve that problem. And a top tip here is, I would suggest your offer needs to be no less than 12 weeks in duration. For me, my offers range between 12 weeks, 24 weeks, and a whole year to help my clients get to where they want to get to. Let's look at step number 4. Step number 4 in the system is creating a lead magnet. Now, if you're not familiar with that term, lead magnet, all it basically means is putting something out there that people can sample and go, yeah, I quite like that, and I may want to work with you further in, you know, at some point in the future. Think about a time maybe when you're in a supermarket and you're walking down one of the aisles and there's somebody stood there with a little table set up and they're offering you maybe a little cube of cheese, a new cheese that's been launched by a particular brand. They give you a little bit to taste, you taste it, you go, yeah, quite like that, and then you go and buy a load more. Well, that's kind of what a lead magnet is. Now, the goal of a lead magnet is, first of all, it should be a slither from your signature offer system. Why is that important? It's important because If they like that lead magnet, they're going to like the rest of the program as well. Now, something to understand about your lead magnet is this. Your lead magnet does not need to solve all of their problems in one single sort of shot. It needs to be able to either shift their perspective about something, give them a tip about something, or just kind of provide some information. It might be, for example, 12 healthy protein breakfasts, something of that nature, but it doesn't want to solve everything. Now, here's the key thing to understand about a lead magnet. A lead magnet can be delivered in lots of different ways. It can be a PDF, it can be a talk, it can be an online presentation, but a lead magnet, I say, needs to offer some sort of value whereby people actually say, yes, I want to raise my hand and I want that. Let's move that on to step number 5. Step number 5 is the delivery of your lead magnet. Now, the way your lead magnet is delivered, depending upon what it is, let's say it's a face-to-face live talk. Well, you may be delivering that lead magnet, excuse me, once a week, once a month. It may be delivered at a networking event. It may be delivered online as a PDF. It may be delivered online as a video. For example, this is like a mini presentation that I'm delivering now as a lead magnet. You may like it and think, actually, I quite like what Eric's saying here, and maybe I'd like some additional training, which you can get access to by clicking the link below, where I go into a lot more detail and I show some visuals as well. You may want to do that, but you need to have some sort of a delivery mechanism and have that in mind. Now, here's the important thing to understand about when you deliver your lead magnet. At the end of delivering your lead magnet, you need to be able to say something in the nature of either book a call, or if you're not going to book a call, you need to be able to capture their details in one way or another. And that will become apparent in step number 6. So those are the two things. Either they're going to book a call, and I'll tell you now that's going to be a very low percentage of people that will book a call, especially for something like a digital lead magnet. If it's a face-to-face presentation, then the likelihood of them actually booking a call with you goes up a lot. Why? Because they're in the room with you and they get to see you in real life, up close and personal. When it's something online, then it takes a little bit more work, which leads us nicely into step number 6. Step number 6 is your email nurture sequence. So let's just say, for example, they've downloaded a PDF that you put out there, 7 healthy breakfasts you put out there, and they've downloaded that. Now, the chances are, once they've got that detail, they're not going to suddenly jump on your calendar to book in a call with you. So what you need to have set up, and what I'd recommend you have set up, and what I set up, is an email nurture sequence. What is that? That's a series of emails that have been written that go out in an automated way. So, for example, for me, my emails go out on a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday. So Monday, I put out an email that talks about something around sort of exercise and mindset. Wednesday is more of a kind of a story-based thing with a lesson taught in there. And Friday, I put out some healthy meals. Again, I weave it into a bit of education. But at the end of each of those emails, there is a PS at the bottom with an opportunity then to book in a call with me if they want to do that. So a lot of trainers drop the ball here. They will maybe give a talk, and then at the end of the talk they won't ask for details, or they'll put a lead magnet out there like a healthy meal plan, but then there's no follow-up. So they've got somebody on their database, and you may have done this, and comment below if you've fallen foul of doing this. Somebody downloads something and then you don't follow up with them. If you can get your sequence set up, it takes a lot of the pressure off of you. And then what I typically do is, because I've got my sequences set up so far in advance, if I want to write something that is current as an email, I can just drop that in when I want to. But if I don't want to do that, for example, I was recently away on a 2-week holiday, cruised around the Mediterranean, very nice. I came back and I had people booked onto my calendar. Why? Because I had this email nurture sequence set up working for me in the background. So that's step number 6. Step number 7 is your initial call with a client. So someone's booked onto your calendar, and I'd recommend something like Calendly. That's quite a good way to get people onto your schedule. You can set the dates and the times people book in, so you're not playing kind of like email or phone tag. And on that initial call with somebody, that just simply needs to be a fact-finding mission to qualify people. So that you get to ask them a few questions about where they're at, what they're looking to do, find out about their work situation, and then they can ask a few questions about your program. You can explain a bit about your program and also tell them what the investment levels are. And once all that's covered, if you both agree at that point, that's when you go to the next step. The mistake I see a lot of personal trainers making is they try and sell their service in that first interaction, whether that's face to face or doing it over, telephone call or over Zoom. That's a lot of pressure to put on yourself, and it also can put potential clients into a rather awkward position. I know there are some coaches out there that say when you get people on a call, they'll do one or three things. They'll either make a decision, they'll put a deposit down, or they won't buy from you. I don't think that's a particularly good way to approach encouraging someone to work with you who could be working with you for up to 12 months. I don't think it's good to manipulate people like that. I think it's far better to qualify people and then take them to the next step. So this is step number 7. And again, all of this system is designed to help you not be that struggling personal trainer. As I said in the beginning, this will take a little bit of time to put into place, but once you've got it set up, it will work like magic for you. Okay, step number 8 is the in-depth qualification. So you've qualified somebody on the phone or a conversation on the gym floor, and those conversations, by the way, shouldn't take any more than, I'd say, 10 minutes. If it's going much beyond that, then really you're getting into the weeds and you're losing the point of what that initial chat is about. When you get into this stage here, step number 8, the in-depth consultation, this is where we're sitting down with somebody and it's a continuation of that initial conversation you had on the phone or face-to-face, and all you're doing is going a bit deeper with your questions, making sure they're in the right place mentally, emotionally, to want to be able to commit to something. And there are a set of questions that I go through. I'm not going to go into this in this video, otherwise it becomes too long. But it's a great way of making sure people are ready to get on your program, and it also gives them the confidence in you that you know what you're talking about by the nature of the questions you're asking them. I'd also recommend during this presentation you make it visual as well, because when people can not only hear what you're saying but see it as well, it just allows them to sort of make a better or get a better understanding of what your program is about. So they're not having to turn words into pictures as you are speaking. So that's step number 8, the in-depth consultation. Step number 9, assuming that all goes well, is signing somebody up for your program. Now, this is important to understand. When you sign somebody up for first face-to-face personal training or online personal training, is understanding things like what happens if you miss a session. So you need some sort of terms and conditions to cover yourself and also give them some confidence. Also providing them with a money-back guarantee. And I think that's important, to give people a money-back guarantee. When I worked offline face-to-face, I think my guarantee was something like the first month. I would just say, look, if it's not working, we just call it quits, and we would reimburse them the difference of what was left of the program. So let's say they paid up front for 12 weeks. If they'd had 4 weeks and they stopped at the end of 4 weeks, they'd be reimbursed the 8 weeks that were left. Online, I give people 2 weeks to basically say it's not for me, and I reimburse them all of their money, whether it's a monthly payment or whether it's 12 months. I just feel that I'm that confident in my program, I can offer that sort of guarantee, and I think you should be that confident as well. But having good terms and conditions, having a guarantee as well, just gives people that sense of confidence that you're professional and that they're not risking anything. The risk is on you if they want to think of it in that way. That's step number 9. Step number 10, let's dive into that. Step number 10 is getting your client results. And not a lot of coaches out there speak about this enough. And for me, the way that I got my clients' results was by going all the way back to one of the early steps I mentioned, which is creating your signature offer, where you sit down and you map out step by step what you believe a client needs to go through in order to be successful. Now, the first time you do this, it's not going to be perfect. It really isn't. I'm on iteration, for me now, probably iteration number 6 of my program, but given the fact that I've been doing this for over 15 years, offline one-to-one, offline in group settings, and then online one-to-one and group settings, you can see why I've had a lot of iterations. But starting off with something that you can guide clients through is going to help you to get them the results they're looking for. And once you've got those sort of results, you can feed that back into your presentation, you can feed that back into your marketing, you can feed that back into your emails as well, as I do. So when I write an email, I'll often have in there an example and a link where they can click and see a before and after picture or a video of a client that has got a result with me. But getting results is crucial. If you're not getting people results, then you are going to find it difficult to actually attract more people into your business. Now, if you're just starting out and you have no clients, the thing that's going to help people to have confidence in you is you having some sort of system that you can explain how it works and how it's designed specifically for them. But when you've got the system and the result, your conversions go up, massively. For me, it used to be something like 80 to 90% conversions when we got people into our facility. Now online, it's around about 75, close to 80% conversion, just because of the way it's all set up. So that's step number 10. Step number 11 then, this is where your work as a marketer needs to start. So all those previous steps have been set up, steps 1 through to step 10, that's set. Once it's set, it's pretty much there, apart from tweaking it here and there. Step number 11 is the work you'll be doing, which is to drive traffic to your lead magnet. Now, again, if it's offline and you're giving live presentations, that could be in the form of doing joint ventures with other healthcare providers in your area. So I used to give talks to business networking groups, I give talks to osteopath groups, I give talks to foot professionals. Online, I did something very similar. I also do a lot of YouTube videos. That's my preferred way of doing it. So I can do a video, 1 per week, and within that video, the call to action would either be to download a freebie gift, to do an assessment, or sometimes book a call. But that's how I drive traffic, and you need to be thinking about how you're going to drive traffic to your lead magnet. And I go all the way back to step number 1, which is understanding what's your superpower, because your superpower is what's going to drive traffic to your lead magnet. So for me, my superpower is talking. That's what I find easiest to do. So producing videos for me, 1 a week, is an easy way for me to stay consistent. It doesn't feel like work, and if people connect with what I'm saying, then there's a high likelihood they will jump on a call with me, and a percentage of those people that jump on the call with me will actually convert into paying clients. For example, you listening to this now, if you like what I'm saying, you may decide, yeah, I'm just going to contact Eric, have a conversation with him, or I might click the link below, do his more in-depth training, and if I like that, you may decide to book on a call with me, which would be fantastic. And then the final step is to simply rinse and repeat. Now, you're going to make some little tweaks along the way, but essentially, you're just going to repeat the process and make little tweaks here and there. And once you get into a rhythm of doing this, it makes your life so much easier. So rather than being this random personal trainer like I was in the beginning with, and you may well be now, you're now someone that's got a system. And when you've got a system, you can start to work out where the bottlenecks are, what's working well, what's not working as well as it could do, what you need to tweak. And then you're just basically feeding this whole machine with your superpower, whether that's networking, whether that's writing blog posts or articles of some nature, or social media posts, or whether that's doing videos or giving live talks. Whatever it is, your superpower, that's how you're feeding this system, and that's how you're going to start to get clients into your business. That's how you're going to reduce overwhelm. That's how you're going to get the sort of clients that really resonate with you, and that's how you're going to grow your business.